Farhan Zaidi out with the San Francisco Giants, no longer running their baseball operations department. The new president of baseball operations for the San Francisco Giants is Buster Posey. Buster Posey, fresh off the field, taking over. And he already did his first deal before he got the job. That was the Matt Chapman contract. And people are like, oh, nothing to look at here. No, there was a lot to look at. He takes over. That was his audition. He nailed it. Kratz, this is big. I didn't think that Farhan was going to last much longer, and I could have seen this move coming. I did not see the Posey move coming in so hot, where he's at the tippy top of the food chain, really reporting to the owner and making all decisions. What do you think about this?
I'm sure the owner loves Buster Posey. I mean, who in San Francisco doesn't? And maybe these last few years have been auditions for him because, like I said before, he was going to move back to Georgia. He was going to maybe do some things for the Giants, and they moved back when he was done. Then they moved back to San Fran, and he clearly has got the itch for it. But wow. Head of baseball operations, president of baseball operations. That is, Giants are only going up now.
Are you sure, though? I mean, he's never done anything like this before.
Yes.
You think he's fine without all the training and everything? I mean, other sports are bigger on this, right? Where they bring in a former player and just have him do these deals and
NBA,
on front
NBA
offices.
is.
But I think MLB is much more complex. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm saying he totally can. But, it's not like he's logged a ton of experience in a front office. Are you okay with that, AJ?
I am, because he's bringing an aspect that some of these GMs don't have, which is the firsthand experience of what it is to play in these situations, in these games. And also you have a certain understanding when you're scouting players or evaluating players. You can see beyond the stats, you can see the makeup, you can see all these other things that guys who just read numbers or just have been in the front office all their career, they can't quite see. Now the management part and all that stuff, hopefully he has the right team around him to manage everything that goes into being in that new role. But as far as evaluating players and knowing what's best for the team, as far as on the field type stuff, it's going to be hard to beat Buster Posey, one of the best catchers to do it. So he's already been quarterbacking teams for a long time. I'm sure him being around the front office these past few years has allowed him to gain enough knowledge and enough insight to be able to put what he knows into action in this role, and that's only going to make them better because it's Buster Posey, man. It's amazing. I'm happy to see it for sure.
Buster's a winner. Buster's a winner. And AJ, we talk about it all the time. I'm sure you've talked about it even when you were playing. How do you create a culture? Nobody can put a dollar sign on a culture. Well, I promise, because I played with him and I played against him. I lost a World Series to him. This dude knows how to create a culture, and not just he's just the greatest leader ever because he has all these great speeches and everything. He knows the guys who are good at doing X, guys that are good at doing Y, guys that are good at doing Z, and putting them all together because there's a value in each of those guys, and then you go out and play. The Giants are already going to spend money. They have proven that. They want to spend money. It's about getting players there. And to me, this is Texas Rangers West. Signing Chris Young to be the GM, the player or president of baseball operations, same thing here. You have a player who knows and has been around the game and knows how to evaluate people, not just evaluate talent.
He's 37 years old, too. He's a young guy. I mean, there's some players in the league still that are older than him. And he retired a little bit earlier than some thought. I mean, he had triplets coming through, so he was like, all right, I'm going to handle a little daddy duty at home. I've accomplished it all here on the field. But this is a guy, he's a checklist guy, and I mean this in a good way, right? He did everything. The MVP, the World Series rings. Now you get to try and do the same thing and run through your checklist as a president of baseball ops. Is this going to start, Kratz, a new wave of more former players quickly transitioning into upper echelon front office roles? Do you feel like there's pushback from players on how far it's gotten into the, I'll call it Wall Street world of president of baseball operations leaders?
I mean, yes, players are definitely pushing against that. And I think organizations would push against that too if players wanted to do this. But let's just pump the brakes on an influx. There's only 30 jobs. There's only one Buster Posey. I mean, how many guys are coming out right now that are, to me, first ballot Hall of Famers? I know his career was cut short by his own by his own fruition, but it was something that he sits there and he can be what he needs to be for that organization. And I think I don't know if it's going to be an influx. Personally, before we even see why, I thought Raul Ibanez was going to be that guy. I thought Raul Ibanez, he was everything as a player, and then he was working up through front offices and learning all that stuff. He's a great person, great people evaluator. So there's other guys out there. This might help. But look, like if that was my desire, my career did not substantiate myself stepping into a GM or a president of baseball operations role. So I would say there's not going to be a super influx of it, but there is definitely, it shows that guys can do it. It's a tough job. You're working 15, 16 hours a day.
Yeah, no, I think that the game does need some of the past players to come through. I think that's where you see with the Dodgers, a lot of players, maybe they're not in GM positions, but a lot of players are special advisors to the GM or whatever it is, because there's a certain field of the game that is being lost because it's so analytical. And there is a place for that, but the perfect marriage between analytical and the feel of the game and the soul of the game, all those things can only be experienced if you actually experience that. So bringing in former players to be able to bridge the gap can only like help the organizations. And I don't know about players being GMs for sure, but there's some guys out there that have the ability to do that. It's just about learning learning what it takes to be all that, and downloading all that information and applying all that hard work that that it took to get to the big leagues and apply it to that role. And then your experience really comes out whenever you normalize yourself in those roles. So I think there'll be more people that tiptoe into that area. But I don't think it'll be an influx.
I'll cap this combo for now, and then we'll talk to Ken Rosenthal coming up in a little bit to go over the changes. But on the other side, Farhan Zaidi did get a good chunk of time to try and create a more consistent winner in San Francisco. They had that one, some called outlier season, where you had some of the vets with a big resurgence. Posey was awesome that year, Brandon Crawford, right? Some late career surges from players. But other than that, you didn't see much in terms of significant homegrown talent that was going to carry them to the next, dominant dynasty like San Francisco Giants team. He had trouble talking superstars into landing there. And, some players say that's not necessarily the case. So this example with Matt Chapman was the perfect case where they couldn't get over the finish line. Posey got them over the finish line. So there was some disappointment here. And overall, I think they were just being too cute at times as a front office. I think that's something that burned him sometimes with the Dodgers. That happened again here with San Francisco. They brought the same thing over, platoon galore, and just the culture was weird there at times. And this team was not contending down the stretch. So anyway, Farhan Zaidi is out and Buster Posey is in as president of baseball operations, right at the top of the front office for the ball club. We get it. Mornings are nuts. No time for breakfast, but you need to get your day started right.
What if a delicious, nutritious meal could be ready in seconds? Support for Foul Territory is brought to you by Huel, the world's #1 complete nutrition brand. With over 400 million meals sold worldwide, Huel is trusted by millions of people looking to fuel their days with convenient, complete nutrition. Try it for yourself with this exclusive FT offer. 15% off with the code FOUL at Huel.com.
We're all about saving time, but we get hangry, like a lot. I recently fell in love with the Huel Ultimate Super Greens Powder, which is a perfect blend of 91 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients. I also love their complete nutrition bars, and those hot and savory pouches are fire too.
FT fam, give it a shot. Get 15% off with the code FOUL at HUEL.com. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Huel. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes, so you can focus on what really matters.
Hey everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.